This is Ken Nelson. I'm the older brother in the Nelson Dual Sport family. This is a little ride I do all the time. I just ride over to the Maverick, get gas, and then I ride out to the Warner Valley, which is a playground for dual sport and dirt bikes and ATVs and UTVs as well. It's not too far from the house, about 10 minutes. This is a time-lapse sequence done with my new GoPro Hero 7 Silver. Kind of wish I hadn't bought it. It doesn't have a removable battery, which I didn't realize. I'm going to have to relegate this one to less long duration videos because I did run out of battery on this run. So I'm heading out to the Warner Valley, and I will drop a location link into the description for this video. Just about to arrive, and I'm riding my DR650. My WR250R has clutch issues. I have to replace the clutch pack. And for some reason my Husky didn't start, although it did start when I got home. One button started, so I don't know what I was doing when I got up this morning. But I ended up taking the DR, and it's fun. It's got a Racetech suspension front and back. It basically rides like a great dirt bike. It's just a little heavy. It has a 6-gallon tank for desert runs, and some other mods that I'm sure I'm forgetting. A seat concept seat, the windshield or the windscreen, running Dunlop 606 tires. And here I'm running up a ridge. If you've ridden with me before, you'll know this coming the other way, because usually we go up a steeper hill and come down this way. This is a road that runs up to the top of a ridge that looks over St. George and St. George Airport. You can see the whole region from the top of this hill. It's quite a lovely view, and I usually bring people that are new to riding with me up to it. I elected to take a more conservative route up because the DR, I put fuel stabilizer in it, and this is the first time I've run it, and it's just really choppy. You'll see me stall out quite a bit on this run. That's not me with the bad clutch. That's me when I don't give it throttle and it just stops. Later in the ride, for instance, if you view the YouTube clip of the sand run, it looked like the bad gas had worked its way through, and I was having pretty consistent throttle responses. But on this one it was really choppy. Now, as usual on GoPro video, it's a little steeper than it looks, and it's a little rockier than it looks, and the bumps and the whoops are a little bigger than they look, but it's a fun ride. I'm about to arrive at the top, and I have to say this view always impresses me, even though I've seen it many times. Kind of looking a little bit north, out over St. George, which is in the distance. Number of spots to stop and take a look or get a photo. I'm going to run up to the highest one in this local area. And there it is, St. George. That's the St. George Airport. Over to the left. And then looking out over to the right is St. George. You can see the temple and Dixie State University in the distance if you pause it. That's a lovely view. Now I'm going to run along the ridgeline a bit. It's a pretty easy trail, quite rocky, and some pretty steep ledges and drop-offs. And I'm going to pay the price for my bad fuel situation. A few places with probably a dozen stalls. But it's fun. One thing, if you are coming up here, it's quite rocky, and the rocks are very pointy. So if you don't have moose or heavy-duty tubes, you could get a flat up here quite easily. So it's kind of funny riding the DR, which the suspension modifications have made it quite a useful dirt bike. But sections like this that I would just literally rip through on my Husky, I have to think about a little bit. I like that trail over on the right, and I kind of wish I'd selected that line. So I thought about getting over there, but I kept stalling out, and my rear tire was wedged into a rock, and the bike weighs north of 400 pounds. So I'm going to try it, but then the stalls just frustrate me, and I just elect to just turn left and go over the steep drop off and through the notch. It worked fine. I just did it a lot slower than I normally would on my WR, or especially on the Husky, where I'd probably just wheelie through it and not even worry about it. So we're going to ride up here a little bit. The trail will continue on as a single track that's really fun if you come up with a really single track, rocky, steep ledge capable bike. I'm going to elect to stop here mainly because of the fueling considerations. I just don't want to have the bike stall out and leave me stranded back there. But we're going to get off and take a look at the view. So I'm going to get off the bike and give you a good view of St. George and also my DR650. I've quite enjoyed the bike. I don't ride it as much as I used to. That Husky is just so much fun. So go ahead and pause the video and look and enjoy the view. Thank you for joining me on this ride. I look forward to having you join me again.